All right, let's get right into it. We have all had that moment, right? You open your electric bill, you look at that number at the bottom, and you just think, how? Where does this even come from? Well, today we are going to pull back the curtain and turn that confusion into confidence. I mean, it's a feeling pretty much everyone can relate to, that little sting that you're paying for something you don't really get. So that's what we're here to fix. By the end of this, you're not just going to understand your bill, you're going to know how to shrink it. And we've got a plan, a 5-step roadmap to get you there. We'll start by decoding your bill, then we'll hunt down what we're calling energy vampires. After that, we'll look at smart tech, some totally free hacks, and finally, a long-term plan to future-proof your savings. Let's jump in.
Okay, first things first. Before you can lower your bill, you have to understand what you're actually paying for. So let's crack this thing open and see what's really going on in that fine print.
So it's not as complicated as it looks. The whole thing really boils down to a few key terms. First, there's the kilowatt-hour, or kWh. That's just the basic unit of energy you buy, like a gallon of gas. But here's the kicker. Many plans have peak and off-peak rates. That means electricity costs you more in the afternoon and early evening. And on top of all that, there's usually a fixed charge you have to pay no matter what, just for being connected to the grid. But wait, there's more. And this is where it gets interesting. You're not just paying for the power you use, you're also paying for its entire journey to your house. You've got transmission fees to move it across the country, distribution fees to get it to your street, and sometimes environmental fees. All these little surcharges really add up and inflate that final number. And watch out for this one, it's a real trap, the estimated usage. Sometimes the power company doesn't actually read your meter. They just guess based on past use. If they guess high, you end up overpaying for energy you never even used. So do yourself a favor, check your bill and see if it says actual or estimated. It can make a huge difference.
All right, now that we know how to read the bill, it's time for the fun part. We're going on a hunt inside your home to find the culprits that are secretly driving up your costs. And this chart says it all. If you want to make a dent in your bill, there is one main villain. Look at that first bar, HVAC Havoc. Your heating and air conditioning system is by far the single biggest energy hog in almost every home. The other two, what we call Stealthy Drainers and Phantom Loads, they're smaller, but they're still doing some serious damage over time.
So what's a stealthy drainer? Well, these are the appliances that are always on, always quietly sipping power. Think about that old fridge humming away in the garage, or your kid's gaming console that's always in standby mode, ready to go. They literally never stop drawing power. Then you've got phantom loads, which are even sneakier. These are the devices that seem like they're off, but because they're plugged in, they're still pulling a small amount of power. We're talking about every phone charger, your TV, your coffee maker, all of them, secretly adding to your bill 24/7. It's the silent cost of convenience. Okay, so we've identified the enemy. Now it's time to arm ourselves with some modern weapons. This next section is all about using technology to outsmart those energy hogs and automate your savings. The smart home revolution really comes down to 3 game-changing areas. First, transforming your thermostat. Second, lighting up some major savings with smarter bulbs. And third, plugging into a whole new level of efficiency for everything else. Remember our number 1 villain, HVAC Havoc? Well, this is your silver bullet. A smart thermostat is a total game changer. It learns your routine and adjusts the temperature automatically, so you're never wasting money heating or cooling an empty house. This is probably the single biggest tech upgrade you can make for your wallet. Now, for those sneaky phantom loads, you've got 2 main ways to fight back. The tech solution is a smart plug. You can program it to automatically cut power to devices when you're not using them. But there's also a simple no-tech solution. Just get in the habit of unplugging things. And that's actually the perfect transition to our next section. Right, so you don't need a bunch of expensive gadgets to save money. Let's talk about some powerful changes you can make right now, today, without spending a dime, or at least very, very little. Hack number 1 is all about the power of habit. These are zero-cost changes. Instead of running the dryer, air dry your clothes when you can. Make unplugging that phone charger a part of your morning routine. Open the blinds to let in natural light and warmth instead of flicking a switch. Simple choices, real savings. Hack number 2 is a little weekend DIY. Your home might be literally bleeding energy through tiny cracks around doors and windows. A little bit of weather stripping or caulk is super cheap and can make a huge difference. You're basically stopping that expensive air you just paid to heat or cool from sneaking right outside.
And hack number 3 is about using the big appliances you already own just smarter. Simple things like always washing a full load of laundry in cold water, making sure your fridge isn't set colder than it needs to be, and never, ever running the dishwasher until it's completely full. These small tweaks add up big time.
So, we've looked at the bill, we've hunted the vampires, and we've covered the quick fixes. Now, let's zoom out and talk about the big picture. Let's build a long-term strategy to lock in those savings for good.
Your long-term roadmap really has 3 major milestones. First, exploring the world of solar. Second, finding free money to help you pay for upgrades through rebates. And third, calling in a professional for a full energy audit of your home. Look, solar isn't some far-off fantasy anymore. It's a real option for a lot of people. You can look into putting panels right on your roof, of course. But even if you can't, many areas now have community solar programs you can join. Both are huge steps toward energy independence. And this is absolutely crucial. You don't have to pay for big upgrades all by yourself. There are tons of government and utility programs out there that will literally give you money back, rebates for making your home more efficient. We're talking new insulation, a better water heater, you name it. It's basically free money waiting for you.
And finally, this is the ultimate move. After you've done everything else, you can hire a pro to do an energy audit. Think of them like a detective for your house. They use special equipment to find every single hidden air leak and inefficiency. And like the quote says, they can unlock a whole new level of savings you would never, ever find on your own. So there you have it. We went from being confused by the fine print to building a full-blown, future-proof energy plan. We've covered a ton of ground. Now, the only thing left to ask is the question right there on your screen. After everything you've just learned, what's your first step going to be?